Hello everyone, I'm Naim from Cekolam, and today I'm sharing with you how we do stream health management and its impact on farm productivity and sustainability. We established Cekolam in 2022. At that time, of course, we learned from the COVID management. If viral infection in human can be managed very well, then we should do similar in shrimp farming. Because until today, disease health still one of the main issues in shrimp farming. So we established an independent lab, and then we also have our own product and of course services. Actually, this is the first time in Indonesia we try this kind of biotech invention by ourselves, and again learning from COVID management. We want to deliver, like the best service, the best product for farmers, not only in Indonesia, but of course also across the world. And in 2022, the story in Indonesia is still about Apen, or at the beginning we know as EMS. This is very unique pathogen, like with the two main toxin, like with pill B or pill A and pill B, and that's where we need a very sensitive detection. And then we have some other products available in the market. But at that time, one of the challenges faced by farmers in Indonesia, if we couldn't access easily, faster, then it makes the management in the field become longer and uncertain. So between 2025 and 2023 and 2025, we serve almost like across Indonesia, but for the purpose of today, I will only explain like three main areas that we serve. And also until today, we have established like 35,000 testing. Why we increase the number of the testing? Again, because we learn from the COVID, do testing before we understand the pattern, the infection, and how to prevent them if possible, or how to treat them if it is already happening. And because farmers have no holiday, so the same. So we operate 7 days a week with the same report, like one day report, because this is the standard that we should provide to the farmers. You see like three main areas that I mentioned. The first one is Banten. This is like the western part of Java Island. So far we serve like 70 farms and 4 hatcheries. And East Java, one of the main spot of shrimp farming in Indonesia, we serve 290 farms and also 10 hatcheries. And for West Nusa Tenggara, West Nusa Tenggara is a relatively new area for shrimp farming. We serve about 14 farms. This is also something new for farmers in Indonesia. We have the standard, and actually I have a short video that you can see like how we do, from receiving the sample from the farmers. Usually, like we like this. So we also educate the farmers, put your shrimp in water with alcohol and then send to our lab. And for the purpose of, like explaining about how we do the service and how farmers around the world, like in your own area, with this short video will help you to understand.
Cekolam is the pioneer of shrimp lab independent services in Indonesia, created by Nusantics, focused on diagnostic service for various shrimp diseases that have long caused significant losses for shrimp farmers, not only in Indonesia, but across the world. As an independent lab service, we implement the ISO 17025 and 9001 in standard operation protocols to maintain our consistency in quality and accuracy. Under Nusantic supervision, we use real-time PCR technology with Shrimp Protect Kit diagnostics to produce highly sensitive and accurate testing results. With this technology, Cekolam can help farmers identify pathogen concentrations long before the first clinical symptoms, and surely it helps farmers reduce sudden mortality. We care about how farming practices are all about data mining, we make it easy for you to understand the report with city values. It helps farmers get clear insight about the amount of pathogen level within their stream in a contented and color block, easy to read report. Not only make it easy to understand, we give you full support with commitment to deliver same-day services for 7 days to help farmers get in-depth analysis without any delay, to do quick and mindful treatment. Creating sustainable farming is the responsibility of all, and Jack Column is ready to be part of the best farming methods.
Yeah, so this is what we got from those three areas. For example, if you see the data here in Banten, the left column, like for Appen or for EMS, in 2023, the positivity rate is 14.32%. When I say positivity rate, it means, for example, when we receive 100 samples, 14 of them or 15 of them positive. From prevention, from health point of view, of course, we want as lowest as possible the positivity rate. So the trend for Banten, for example, I read in 2023, the positivity rate is 14.32 and then still increased 17.15 in 2024. But now we have only 9.47. Actually, when when the positivity rate from relatively low and then start to increase and then decrease, that's a good sign that we start to control this particular disease. Or let's say if for white spot in Banten, it is still a big challenge because 2023 like 8.43 and then in 2024 we managed to reduce them to 2.48%, but then now it is still 8.16. Of course, white spot is not easy, but the fact that the positivity rate is already under 10, we believe this is also a good sign. On the opposite, let's say if we see NTB, the West Nusa Tenggara, on the right column, like for Appen, 2023, 14.81%. And now we still have 20%. It means the infection is still going on. And we really need to do many intervention to handle them in the field. And we believe with more testing and then understanding the pattern, by next year, we expected the positivity rate to be lower. For example, 15 or even close to 10. Jawa Timur, in the middle column, as the hotspot of the shrimp farming in Indonesia, we believe for the EMS, for the Appen, it start to be, controllable because the number growing from 6 to 15, but now it start to decrease like 11. For white spot, it is still around 10%. And then EHP is like still going on in almost all areas in Indonesia. And the last one for IMNV in Banten, still a big challenge with 43.28%. And when we talk about IMNV, of course, it relates to feed management, like because IMNV would appear around 50 days when you have fed your shrimp and you are in the mood of uncertain whether you want to continue or you want to stop. Your shrimp is start to grow, whether you have to feed them, but at the same time you have to reduce the feeding when the IMNV is happening. So I think for IMNV, EHP is still challenge in Indonesia for 2024 and 2025. Even in new places like NTB, for IMNV, for this year still 25, and it started with 55. In places where IMNV is happening, this is still a big challenge for us. In summary, from these three areas, there are like good hope, for example, the Appen in Banten, we believe it is going to be controllable, but at the same time, we need to be very careful for other diseases with still high positivity rate. And when we say high, it means like above 20%. If it is already under 10, it is in a relatively good shape. And this is what we learned after doing those 35,000 testing. 70%, more than 70% of hatcheries perform testing of the post larvae before it is delivered to the farm. Of course, it will, reduce the risk of contaminated post larvae, because when you start with a positive post larvae, whether white spot or apen or IMNV, then the risk of failure in the farm will be higher. So testing, particularly for hatcheries, become like a new standard in Indonesia. And in the past, the hatcheries will release a certificate to say our product, our post larvae is free of white spot, IMNV, apen, and usually 6 diseases. And now even the farmers, when when the post larvae arrive or just before the hatchery send the post larvae, they will do another testing. It doesn't mean they do not trust the hatcheries, but this is just a new standard because they want to be sure that the post larvae they want to put in the farm at least start with non-contaminated or post larvae specific pathogen free. And then the second one, actually more than 53% of farms perform pathogen monitoring on a schedule to prevent rising mortality. For example, we have several farms, they would send the samples around day 10 to 15, and then let's say they're negative. Everything is negative. They will do another checking around day 30s, because around day 30 is very risky for white spot. And even if they found, everything was negative, they will do another testing around day 50. There's like the risk for IMNV, for the infectious myonecrosis. And sometimes farmers even ask me if our farms is in good condition, and then the risk is always negative. This is about prevention. Of course, we are happy if your farm negative for all diseases. We never expected to have positive result from your farm. The opposite. For example, one farm sent sample around day 15, and then we detected apen in those day 15. The farmers will do any intervention, the SOP, the standard operating procedures, to prevent this apen. For example, by adding mixed probiotics to enrich the microbiota, the microbiome, and the microbes in the water. And then they will do another checking around day 30. For example, if in day 15, the CT values is around 38 or even lower, like 35, and then they sent again in day 30, and we found, actually the CT values was higher. For example, from 35 and then it close to 40. Or if at the beginning it's already 30 and the second time they check, it became close to 40. And again, learning from COVID, it is a good sign if you start with low CT value and then end with higher one and even negative one. That's why we also educate the farmers that at the critical time for IMNP. And this is less than 30% farmers know what the next step after they get the PCR data. Of course, PCR data, on the one hand, we became familiar, but also then the question will be, what's next? Or so what? If my farm is negative, usually it is okay because we just continue farming. But when, when the result is positive, then whether you have to add maybe some immunostimulant, sometimes feed additive, and sometimes probiotics. Of course, we will see other data as well, the water quality, the water parameters, and then we will provide recommendation what kind of probiotics they should in the farm to prevent or to treat specific diseases, or what kind of feeding regime, whether they have to increase or maybe to reduce, or even to hold the feeding only for a short time, just to give, the farms to recover itself. And then less than 5% farmers success rate in handling repeatable pathogen infection in their shrimp farm. It was in the past. But now PCR data is like a puzzle missing before, in managing pathogen in the farm. And if the farmers did the intervention, without a proper knowledge and proper data, maybe the consequences even higher, because rather than handling the problems, you also cause another problem. This is just a little bit background, why, shrimp is very sensitive, because shrimp only have innate immunity immunity, different from human or even fish that have innate and also adaptive immunity. That's why we need to be very careful because there is no treatment or drugs at this moment for shrimp. So the best thing in health management is still the prevention at the beginning, like how we prepare the farm, the ponds, the water preparation, then checking the post larvae, and also measuring the water parameter regularly. So this is like health management, like checking the disease only one step, but at the macro level, we still have to do best aqua practices because without doing best aquaculture practices, then we introduce like bigger challenge or a bigger problem in the middle or at the end of the farms. So this is not easy. We understand. That's where we want to contribute. We also have another example of a field trial. Whatever input we introduce to the farm will have effect. So this is the field trial with one of the feed additive company. This is like day 1, day 11, day 15, day 30. We do the the pathogen checking. What we learned from this experiment, from this field trial, when you have co-infection of Apen and IMNV, it is very hard to handle them. Even when you add like this feed additive, the one that we tested. But when the infection is IMNV alone, this feed additive actually successful in reducing the mortality rate and also the infection rate. So this is the data. For example, I read the before pond. It started, like before the treatment. This is like farms with historical IMNV record. So we tested them at the beginning. It's already 41. 41 is considered like low infection with the CT value of 41. Apen 41, IMNV 41. And then after 15 days of treatment with this specific feed additive, the IMNV infections actually higher because the CT value became 35.3. They continue the treatment and it start to recover. You see that the CT value at the end became 38.9. So this is what the farmers wanted, like how to prevent and also to treat IMNV. So you have the disease and then you apply this feed additive like substance, and then the IMNV became lower, like higher in CT values, but it means the infections became lower and then also continued the farms and had the result at the end. This kind of story actually repeated many times. Of course, we are happy when we heard from the farmers by doing regular checking, regular health testing. They know what's happening in the farms and then start doing something. Because I believe this is one of human behavior. When you do not know that your farms have problems, then you think everything is good. You didn't do anything as an intervention. But once it is confirmed, scientifically that you have this problem of wet spot, for example, then you start by doing some intervention. And now we also not only doing testing whether you are positive or negative of white spot, positive or negative of IMNV, and because we understand, particularly the feed input is one of the major input in aquaculture. Testing for the gut, because this is we learn from the farmers. That's why we are very thankful to the farmers who send water sample, shrimp sample, and even wild animal samples, wild crustaceans, and also sediment of the pond. That's how we learn when the farmers actually ask a question, which ones actually represent the best. We test just the shrimp, like a random part of the body of the shrimp, the water, the sediment, or the gut. That's how we started to check the gut microbiota dynamics in shrimp. And this is not only by doing PCR, yes or no, positive or negative, but we do even further, go deeper using the latest technology like sequencing in more detail. For example, if the gut of my shrimp actually have higher Vibrio, and which type of Vibrio, or maybe other bacteria, whether they are in the richness is also in a good balance. That's how we understand the healthy shrimp better, because you know exactly what you put put in the pond, of course, like digested by the shrimp, and then whether the gut like have balanced microbiota. This is because very critical. If the shrimp have a healthy gut, then they have a better chance, like to defend themselves against infections, against pathogen. And then with a healthy shrimp, you will have like optimal production. Again, we go deeper from only detecting yes or no disease, and then move to checking even the gut or the microbiota dynamics in shrimp. And we understand the role of nutritional input. This is like, again, this is very, very important, because when you put, for example, the feed, this is not only influence the gut microbiota of the shrimp, but also the water microbiome, the water microbes and dynamics change whenever you put a different type of feed, and also the frequencies you put your feed. Of course, in the wild, like wild shrimp, they eat almost all the time, even though at night, because it's nocturnal, they would eat higher compared to during the day. But in the farm, for example, there are farms that feed the shrimp 4 times, 6 times, or 5 times, and then we start learning the difference when you apply the feed, like feeding regime. And we believe, again, like health management is part of a good ecosystem, because shrimp farming is not only about checking the disease. This is also about, like the hatchery, the feed meal, and even the cold storage. So this is like ecosystem from the upstream to the downstream. And we want to contribute specific role in ensuring that your shrimp is healthy, your water is in a good shape from pathogen point of view, from a biology point of view, and then also, of course, the sediment. Even at the beginning, a little bit unusual for us, we also receive samples from feed company or farmers who send feed sample to us, and then we start learning different things from different samples. Even also the broodstock, the company also send broodstock to us, because only by doing checking, like from upstream to downstream, broodstock, hatcheries on farm, then even the gut microbiota. That's how we start understanding better about shrimp dynamics. Of course, with the hope in the future, we start having lower positivity rate in terms of disease, and then healthier shrimp and better growth rate. For now, we are not moving, we are still doing the testing, like the RT-PCR testing, but also the sequencing, because only by doing sequencing, we can understand, for example, if you buy one product, probiotic or maybe immunostimulant, we do the checking, not because we do not trust the company, but so we understand better. Let's say if I put probiotics A into my farm, whether this probiotics change the dynamics in a good way, in a good sense, or whether it creates another problem. Because if we apply not a proper one instead of solving the problem, maybe you are introducing a new problem. So we have this kind of tagline to do check, and check, because with 3 checks, hopefully we can help the farmers. This vaccine farming is a very complex one. Again, the broodstock, the hatcheries, the farm, the feed company, the supplement, probiotics, we need to work together, because everyone is happy if shrimp productivity is higher, if we can maintain the growth rate, if we can handle the challenges, for example, in terms of pathogens. And our contribution from Cekolam is in ensuring whether the pathogens in your farm and how healthy is the gut of your shrimp by applying the latest technology, sequencing. Because only by doing that, we do it scientifically with high sensitivity rate, with high specificity rate, and we start handling shrimp problem one by one. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a good result in your farm to feed the world. Thank you.